Hello everyone. This video is going to be discussing graphing. I'm just waiting for my program to open. And basically we are going to look at how to graph if we want to make a table. So if I have, let's say f of x equals negative 3x plus 1. Okay, so one thing that we can do as far as graphing is make a table. And if we do so, we end up with x and y. Now, we get to make the decision on what x values we pick. I am going to pick, let's say, negative 2, 1, and 4. You can pick whatever you want. Here's where this choice comes into play. We are going to take our input and we're going to put it into our output. So negative 3 parentheses negative 2 plus 1. This simplifies down to 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, let's evaluate it 1. So we're going to have 1 as our input, meaning that 1 is taking the place of my x. And this is negative 3 plus 1, which is negative 2. And the last one would be where I have 4 as my input. See what happens? I say 4 and I write 4. So negative 3 times 4 plus 1. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, plus 1 is negative 11. Now, one of the reasons I chose 4 is because it does give me negative 11. Because I want you to see that if we are talking about our graph and we see here that we don't actually have negative 11 on here. We go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is okay. The reason this is okay is because we can still plot 1, negative 2, and we can still plot negative 2, positive 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this gives us enough information for us to be able to create our line. So our line would look something like this. Okay, that's one example. The second example that I will do is going to be using a function, let's say g of x, such that we have 5 halves x minus 1. Okay, so here again, x, y. We get to choose which x values we use. So the x values that I'm going to choose, one of them is going to be 0. 0 is always a good one to choose because 5 halves times 0 minus 1 is just negative 1. Now, because I have 2 in my denominator, I'm going to choose even x values. And you will see why here in a moment. I'm just going to do negative 2 and 2. So 5 halves times negative 2 minus 1 is, well, negative 2 times 5 halves is negative 5. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. Now we're going to evaluate it 2. So my input is now 2. And 5 halves times 2 is just 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. So what we have now is a set of points that are relatively kind to use. 0, negative 1, right there. Negative 2, negative 6, so negative 2, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we have 2, 4, so 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and again, we would just create our line through these points. So, I need to start somewhere. I will start here, and we're trying to go through all 3 of these points, which we do. Okay, so just remember, when you're making your table, you can choose the x values. Once you have your x values, you just plot them into, once you have your x values, you use them as inputs into our function. And once you have that function value, you just plot them onto the graph and then draw a line that goes through all the points. Remember, we're sketching graphs. That means that they're not going to be perfect, but we want them to be representative. That does it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.